Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
We're talking about our third single, which we're talking about Morning Musume's third single,
Daite Hold on Me. This is obviously Morning Musume's third single. This is the second single of the second generation. I personally noticed that this is the very first Morning Musume single that included a rap.
which is the only part these girls look like they were having fun in. My problem with these early generations is they're like characterized by like, we are very bored and we're dancing really high energy, but we look really bored and that makes it really awkward for Jacob to watch. But they did have a lot of fun with the rap. You get a rap for the first time. This is kind of cool. We don't do this. Let's rap. The music. I feel like this song came out in 1999. This song came out in 1990. And I feel like this music is really like ahead of its time. To me, the backing track of it sounds like something I'd hear not really Kesha put out. It's a little too like bouncy happy for Kesha, but in that same vein of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get killed for comparing Morning Musume to Kesha. Oh no, I'm not comparing them at all. I'm not, oh god. Anyways, it just sounds more like the techno pop that I hear like on the radio now today. And I feel like it was really ahead of its time in 1990. So I thought that was really cool. I think that you didn't hear that in the 90s, at least I didn't. You heard, what, Full House? I'll be there for you. Can't get the rights to the... And so I feel like this music was really ahead of its time. But at the same time, I feel like the girls weren't ready for it. So I feel like they're still getting used to singing in this style, which is like this ahead of its time techno pop. And I feel like the technology for producing vocals wasn't where it needed to be to sound right for this. It doesn't sound as polished as I want it to. But then again, I'm also used to listening to 2012 techno pop.
Echoing what Jacob said a little bit, going back and listening to the original song again after being able to review it with him, I can see where the blending of the voices don't exactly mix.
Thank you.
And can you see in this video, where more in this single, where it's more becoming Abe, Natsumi, and friends?
I had an issue with her. My issue with her is that if anybody looked bored in this video, it was...
She didn't look bored.
She looked so bored to me. Like, I don't know, maybe that's her sexy face. I feel like the song was written a little too high, and they needed to knock it down just like a key for her. I feel like she pushed her vocals a lot in this song, which maybe that's why I was a little bit like, huh? It just felt pushed to me.
I noticed, especially in this video, like with Morning Coffee, there was a lot of Abe, but you could see the other four girls very prominently. They were in the video, you could hear them in the single. With Summer Night Town, the second generation kind of got left in the background. You didn't even recognize that they were there. And it was more heavily focused
What?
on
There's new people?
Yugo, Abe, and Fukuda. Whereas Daite Hold on Me really centers in on Abe, and I almost wonder if that's because she was the one that was getting a lot of attention. And she was the one that a lot of the fans were really focused on, and so they decided to zoom in on her rather than the others, and kind of just made her the front girl. And I'm seeing where this is becoming the trend, is that picking a front girl to represent and being a face of Morning Musume. Especially if they're going to add more girls, they need to have someone who's solid and who's there as a face for the group.
Well, I mean, that's true of if you think of any group that has, any boy group, any girl group, NSYNC,
Justin Timberlake.
Backstreet Boys.
I wasn't allowed to listen to them.
They were skanky.
Spice Girls I wasn't allowed to listen to.
Oh gosh, what was Beyonce's group before she was Beyonce?
She was...
Beyonce and the Bees.
It was... What was it?
I'm a survivor, I'm gonna learn her.
I know it is.
Destiny's Child.
Morning Musume has picked a front girl, and it's been Abe Natsumi in this single. So after listening to the single, I asked Jacob to listen to a few different versions. I asked him to listen to the one from as soon as Fourth Generation entered the Budokan tour. I had asked him to listen to the single Daisuchu version, and I asked him to listen to the Dream Morning Musume version. And I asked him which one was his favorite, and as we went on, they progressively got more favorited, so he preferred the single Daisuchu version, and as soon as he heard the Dream Morning Musume version, he loved that one.
I was a music major for 2 years. I studied voice for a while. My biggest problem with the early Morning Musume girls is that it sounds really glottal and forced. Like they're really pushing really hard to get those notes out. So that bothers me. I liked it as it went on because it was less from the throat and it went more through the nose. To me, the kind of upbeat, like super like techno, it sounds better the more nasal it is, just because it's more flexible and it's lighter. This is a light, beat, heavy sound. If you have music that's got like lots of bass to it and lots of beats to it, and then you got a heavy voice, it sounds kind of clunky. Well, and I also think the old Morning Musume girls, I mean, they were the first. They're kind of like figuring out, all right, what do people want to hear from us? Let's kind of try stuff. And I think by the time when you have it now, the girls kind of come in knowing we're cute, we're idols. Mm-hmm. Morning Musume sounds this way.
They know what to expect.
They know they know what it's supposed to be, and they also know that like to go beyond just Japan, like if they want to cross over at all, they know that this sells.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of marketing. They got to play it safe while still kind of pushing things, but they still have to be safe because you can't completely diverge from the formula if the formula's working and it's successful.
Let's talk about the video.
This set to me at first, when it first started, I was like, it's Star Trek! But then as the video went on, I decided that it's actually a pink disco version of the Doctor's TARDIS.
It really was
And
like
rounded
Star
domes.
Trek-y, like the Voyager. Yeah. Like how the Voyager set was like really blocky. Him pointing it out, it looks like that, like they did a big red screen on the Voyager.
And the first thing I said when the video started was this is the first one that seemed like Morning Musume to me. Like the Morning Musume, because my first exposure to Morning Musume has been closer to the present.
Yeah.
Like more recent stuff. So this was the first one where I was like, oh yeah, this is Morning Musume.
Yeah.
Versus the first video where I was like,
who are these girls in white?
why are they so bored talking about their morning coffee at their sleepover?
Yeah. So, I thought it would be funny if we did our best ne waratte. Ne waratte.
Ooh.
So, for question of the day, which version of Daite Hold Me do you like? Do you like the original single version? Do you like the more recent version? Or do you like the Dream Morning Musume version?
Or do you have some version that you feel trumps all of them?
those.
Also, we want to see your best
Ne waratte.
face
From 19...
from 19. And you can make that a video response. We'd love to see at least one.
Peace out. Hey! Itadakimasu!